My name is Rosa Faerman. I was born in Argentina from Hungarian and Czechoslovakian parents. And as a little girl, my mother became very ill. We were only about 3-4 years in Argentina because my father emigrated first, and when he called his newlywed wife, a year after I was born, and 4 years later, my younger sister was born. But my mother missed her parents, and my grandmother in Czechoslovakia kept writing, "Please, I won't see you again. God knows how far you are." After 4 or 5 years, we packed up and went all back to Czechoslovakia. That was in 1928. We all went back to Czechoslovakia. We had a beautiful life, but we stayed. I went to school. The first years in school, I went to Czechoslovakia. My father stayed in Argentina because he had a big business, and he kept traveling back and forth, back and forth. We stayed in Czechoslovakia till 1939, 2 weeks before the big war. We heard a lot of tragedies and sad stories about the Holocaust, but we never thought Holocaust. We heard about labor camps. So my mother was so innocent, says, "You know, there are a lot of people who are against the politicians, and here they go against, so they put them in jail, and if they still bad, they go for forced labor." Never, never in your life would you ever think that they would gas them and burn them and murder them and starve them. What happened during those years, in 1933, 34, we heard it's going to be war. But nobody believed. 1 year goes by, no war. 36 goes by, no war. 38. And my father kept writing us, "Get out of Czechoslovakia because it's getting every day more dangerous and dangerous, so I want you to come to Argentina." By the time we went for the new passports and get out of the Czechoslovakia, they refused us to go out. Luckily, my mother had a cousin in Budapest who was a highly official in the emigration, a consul in the consul, and he told us, since they refused to get you out, you're not going to get legally out. I can make you a deported passport, and that's how you're going to get out. So my mother took the deported passport, and we went. Luckily, we got these passports, but as we were traveling already from Budapest to get the ship in Hamburg, 1939 in July, don't remember, it was already war in Sudet Czechoslovakia and Poland. German took over, and the only port open for people to get out was Hamburg. So we coming from Budapest in the express train, a very fancy train like the with sleeping compartments. I forgot the name of the train, and that train is always on time. When we came back to the frontier of Austria and Hungary, SS policemen come with 2 helpers and look at my mother's paper, and red J was on front of the passport. Heraus, 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 you get out, out, out. And the helpers are starting to take our trunks and luggages off the train. And my mother started to cry, and my sisters, we all started to cry. We didn't know what happened, but something very bad is happening. Luckily, Baruch Hashem, every day of my life, next to our compartment is traveling a man alone. And when he heard commotion, he got out of the compartment and he says, "What's happening?" The lady has not good papers. He took our passports and visas, and he says, "Do not take this lady's luggage off the train. Just wait, I'm going to go to the cancelar, to the office of the train master, and straighten out." He went down of the train, and he had to sign with my mother a fine that the train was detained 10 minutes because of the discussion with us, but we didn't get up. And this man said to my mother, do not get off the train anywhere, and even in the ship. Once you are on the ship in Hamburg, do not get off for no reason, just till you get to Buenos Aires. This was our exit in 1939. Thank God we got, after almost a month on the ship, to Buenos Aires, where my father was waiting for us, and we had a beautiful life in Argentina. Almost all our relatives that were left in Czechoslovakia and Hungary were perished. In Argentina, I grew up, when I was about 12, 13 years old. When I was about 16 years old, I met my future husband, with whom we married and had 3 beautiful daughters. But my husband was a very ambitious man, and he always wanted to come to United States. And he says to me one day, Rosie, I would like to go to United States. What we have in United States? I love my parents, I love my friends, I love my children, I don't care to go. No, it's a new world, we're going to United States. So when I came, we were blessed that we came when we came, because this was really a new world. I brought 3 little girls, 3 years, 10 years, and 12-year-old girls. My girls were, after 6 months, outstanding in school. I couldn't get over how good. And then, years later, my husband passed away because he became sick of his heart. And I started to come to the senior center, and Andrea came to instruct us about the project of the Holocaust. You see, I am glad to say that I was saved by a miracle circumstances. But my husband, I married for 10 years, I had a husband who did survive Auschwitz and all the other camps, and he told me about his experiences that broke my heart. That's why I joined this group of Holocaust people, because he was such a good man and loved life more than anything else. He was such a wonderful guy, and also passed away. So when I started to come to the senior center, I love to make myself busy with crocheting, with knitting, with sewing, with things. But she gave me courage. I told her, I said, I love to cook, I love to bake, I like to do other things, but artistically I am not a drawer or painter. You're gonna do just fine. And since deep down I'm very Jewish, not fanatic, but good person that wishes only good to the people around me, starting from my closest one, my family, my friends. And I'm telling you, I'm going now to visit my sister because we're getting older and we never know what's going on from one year to another. But I'm going to take this project to show them that I achieved something with painting. Well, my life story is thank God that I am able to do and express myself the best way I know. And I thank this teacher that came to wake us up and do little things that can be a sample for others. Should never, never again happen. Holocaust is a tragedy that should, no matter what minority people are, should never, never go through. Thank God. God bless America every day of my life. Every day of my life. This is the project.